All right, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. It's the Lagos Center on Kakaaki, the African Voice. And barely 24 hours from now, Nigeria will join the rest of the world to observe this year's World Population Day. That's coming up on July 11. Now, this year's theme, tagged Family Planning, Empowering People, Developing Nation, is targeted at providing safe voluntary family planning to the people around the world and help in curbing population growth. According to the United Nations figures, about 225 million women who want to avoid pregnancy are not using safe and efficient family planning methods for reasons ranging from lack of access to information to such services and also to lack of support from their partners or communities. The affected women live in 69 of the poorest communities of the world. Access to safe voluntary family planning, according to the World Body, is a human right and central to gender equality and women's empowerment, which is key to reducing poverty. So I have joining me in the studio this morning a gentleman who will be taking a look at the issues around family planning and the World Population Day, even as Nigeria joins the world to mark this day. Dr. Omasanjua Edu is here with us. He is the team leader, Nigeria Urban Reproductive Health Initiative, NURI 2. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, before we begin this interview proper, we have a report on family planning, which shows how women who have had side effects of family planning are refusing to, engage in family planning uptake, and what is being done at the moment to ensure an increase in family planning uptake in Nigeria. Under the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, couples have rights to contraceptive use to plan when they have children and how many children they have. Spacing babies allows women to follow education and career goals that may be interrupted by having children. This empowers women and increases their ability to earn more. According to experts, contraceptive use reduces cases of abortion arising from unplanned pregnancies, one of the leading causes of maternal deaths worldwide. And with fewer well-spaced children, families are able to invest more in a child.
Contraceptives are life-saving commodities, and people should utilize contraceptives to be able to space their birth and get the woman healthy and ready before the next pregnancy. Pregnancy should not be done, it should be by choice and not by mistake.
Despite these benefits, modern family planning contraceptive methods such as oral pills, intrauterine devices, sterilization, implants, and injectables are often misconstrued with cultural and religious beliefs, as well as myths and misconceptions, creating barriers for their uptake. Judith Kolawole is one out of several women who have experienced some side effect with implant, her chosen family planning method.
It disturbed me and it make me want to come out now. I know my body no free. If I just want work like this, I go see I carry stone for body, all my body they have. I know like.
There are, however, others who have good stories to tell about modern contraceptive methods.
When I first did it, I saw my period and it came for like 15 days, but it was normal. It did not come anyhow. It was normal, but so after then, it has been coming normal.
For family planning advocates, modern contraceptive methods, like any other orthodox medicine, present minimal side effects, but women should be counseled on the method that best suits them.
Before you use any method at all, the service provider will counsel you. And, based on some of the questions they will ask, they will know which method suits you and which you are not supposed to use. You don't just walk into a facility, an health facility, and say, it is this one I want. The service providers themselves should be adequately informed, empowered enough to be able to educate those that are coming to uptake the service also.
So when a woman comes for counseling, we use that opportunity to educate the women properly about all of the side effects pertaining to the particular method that she wants to take. And what we always advise the women is you do not use a method because your friend is using a method. You don't use a method because a neighbor is using a method or because somebody in your family is using it or maybe your sister is using a method. Well, you go to a trained provider who is skilled in counseling and providing a procedure to access the service.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We're still here, and Dr. Edu Obasanjoa is still very much here in the studio. Let's begin. United Nations Development Program Governing Council in 1989 directed its attention on the urgency and importance of population issues. Why do you think this is necessary?
It is necessary because when you take into consideration the resources you have as a country and then reflect it on the population that you have, you want to be in a position whereby you have enough resources to take care of the population that you have currently, and also taking into consideration what the population will be in the future. You want to be able to calculate and estimate what your resources are regarding your population, because you don't want to have a situation where your population far outgrows your resources and then puts you in problems.
Now, even in that report, we talked about family planning, and this year is emphasizing family planning as key to economic and national development. Why do you think family planning actually helps? The theme says family planning and child spacing, empowering people and developing nations. What's the correlation?
So we've seen over the years that family planning plays a very key role. In short, it plays a central role in the development of any country. What family planning does is, especially for the women, it provides them an opportunity to be able to attain the highest level of education, even while you're having children. It also provides the opportunity for women to earn a living while having children and then contribute to developing the country. Because the more women you have in the workforce, or the more people as a way that you have in the workforce, we contribute to growing that economy, will contribute to growing the GDP for that economy. So it doesn't just stop at the benefits of the home, or it doesn't stop at the benefits of the life of the woman, but it also contributes to growing the economy, because when you're empowered, then you can possibly impact or positively impact on the country that you live in.
Growing an economy doesn't have to do with women alone?
No, it doesn't have to do with women alone, but the more people you have on your workforce. Now, as it is, men are naturally in the workforce. There's never a time where, as a result of pregnancy, a man will be out of workforce. But if you have women who are not in the workforce as a result of pregnancy, and then in the process of having too frequent pregnancy, you have more women who are not in the workforce. But doing family planning or having access to family planning would increase the number of women in the workforce, and thereby increasing your overall workforce, which will overall increase your productivity as a country.
Okay, let's look at some of the issues raised in that report, or talking about reasons why most women are actually skeptical about taking up family planning, particularly modern contraceptive methods. One of the respondents there did say that when she takes that, she feels heavy. She doesn't understand her system anymore. Now, that's a side effect of family planning, isn't it? Okay, so is that enough to say a woman shouldn't go for family planning?
So, in my opinion, I don't think it's enough for anyone to discourage any woman to go for family planning. Like you rightly said, family planning is a safe and a voluntary right of the human being, or of the woman and the man as in general as well. Family planning does have side effects, and there are a few of those side effects that are particular to the method that you're taking. But what we usually advise women is when you come for family planning services, family planning information is key. We don't want anybody leaving a center with the wrong information. So every woman who takes up a method is counseled adequately to let them understand that these methods you're taking, or a method that you're taking, would potentially have a side effect. And when it happens, this is what you should expect. And if you think you cannot accommodate it anymore, you can always come back to the facility. So there are various ways of managing this side effect when they do happen. But most importantly, you have to have educated women, beforehand, for this so that they can expect it. So like with any other orthodox medicine that we take, there are always side effects. But it's the side effects, the benefits of taking a family planning method far outweighs whatever side effects that we experience what we do.
Okay, let's look at some statistics. If you check out the United Nations website, you see a whole lot of statistics about, women who have not been able to access family planning due to certain reasons. One of the major reasons you have there is lack of access to information on family planning. Why do you think this is happening, and how can this be boosted? Okay,
so there are not a lot of information regarding family planning that is out there in the community. Not a lot of information is being put out in the media. Not a lot of people are talking about family planning. If you take a time to look at the history of family planning, a lot of negativity has been attached to family planning. So a lot of people do not feel free to talk about family planning positively and openly. So a lot of the information you hear about family planning is being said hush hush, in secret. So people do not get to hear the adequate information that they should hear. So what I think we should do as a nation is to begin to promote family planning information first, that people begin to get the right information about family planning, because that's the only way more people can get to understand the benefits of family planning. I've worked in this space for close to 4 or 5 years, 6 years now, and I have seen that even when men who are aggressively against family planning actually do sit down and listen to family planning and understand the benefits of family planning, they're even more eager to want to adopt a method either for themselves or for their wives. So what we need to do is push out as much correct information as possible and make people understand that family planning is, this is what family planning is. It's not 100%. It is not totally free of side effects, and then you should expect these things when they happen. That's the best way for us to go about it.
Now, beyond the side effects, I'm aware there are also myths and misconceptions about family planning, particularly in Nigeria. And I also do know that even some religious-based organizations do frown at family planning. Is there anything, wrong with family planning religion-wise?
Okay. So the narrative before now has been that our culture and our religion is against family planning. And quite honestly, I do not know where that came from, because we've done a deep dive into the Bible, into the Quran, into our culture to find out actually if there are anything that says family planning is against all of this, and we have found out that that's actually not true. In my organization, we've been able to support the development of a material called the Christian Perspective on Family Planning and Reproductive Health. And we have Bible correlations to actually support the fact that the Bible does support family planning. We've also looked into the Quran to see that the Quran as well supports family planning. I've also done research in most cultures in the country to also show that our culture also supports family planning. So what we advise people to do is, read your Bible correctly, read your Quran correctly, and see the correct information, that supports family planning, looking at all of these aspects. So while it is erroneous to say that our religion do not support family planning, which it does indeed support family planning, people just need to be aware, and then our religious leaders need to begin to preach family planning from the pulpit, because we understand the respect that these clerics command in the community, and also our traditional leaders, our community leaders they also need education, because they also do not fully understand the benefits of family planning. Most people see family planning as, you just have to use a method, you have to take injections, but they do not see the other side, what benefits they would enjoy when they use family planning, and not necessarily for themselves, but also to the larger community as well. Because if you have, look into the talking about World Population Day, by the time we have a population that we cannot, as a country or as a community, take care of, we begin to see high increase in crime rates, which at the end of the day would affect all of us.
Now, talking about increase in crime rate, which is what we're having even in Nigeria at the moment, based on our population, we do have some children on the streets, of major cities in the country who have, really nothing at stake, and no life is being given to them in terms of empowerment and all that. And that is constituting a lot of problem in the society. So do you think Nigerian government has actually done enough to harness the potential of Nigerian population? Because we used to hear that there's power in population, really. It should be something people should, grow with, and there should be commensurate infrastructure to match the growing population.
Yeah. So like you rightly said, there's strength in numbers. And when you look at the Nigerian population, it's been estimated that by the year 2050, we would have surpassed the United States of America in terms of our population. Currently, we rank as the 7th most populous country in the world, and by 2050 we'll rank about the third most populous country in the world. And by that time, it is estimated that we probably would have hit and surpassed the 300 million mark. Now, if you look at it, from an economic standpoint, what that tells you is that Nigeria will be strategically positioned to be the power of Africa and also a power to reckon with in the world. Taking also into consideration that our youth population in this country is about 44%. Just taking that into consideration alone will tell you that we have a large workforce. And when you have a large workforce, like I said, your productivity is, is limitless. But on the flip side is, if you do not have the resources to take care of this population, if your facilities, if your amenities are not in place to take care of these resources, for example, you do not have a strong educational system to educate these people, you do not have a good healthcare system to take care of these people, the health of your workforce is poor, your educational level of your health or your workforce is poor, you cannot now, harness the opportunity that these numbers are bringing to you. If you take, for example, the population in China, China ranks about, I think is the most populous country in the world. They have been able to harness the opportunity that their population has provided for them because they have the amenities to take care of that population. But we do not have that structure in Nigeria. So it becomes a negative in our past. You find out, we have a lot of high school dropouts. These children turn into the streets. And then what happens, you begin to see high crime rates, unemployment rates are going up. These are not good for the country. So while we stand to benefit from our large population, because we do not have the structures in place to actually harness that potential, we begin to reap the negative consequences of that.
So how do you think government can deal with this issue, and try to curb, the population growth at the rate at which is growing?
So that's one of the major reasons why we preach family planning. Looking at the health aspect of family planning, which we all know it saves the lives of the woman, it also empowers the country, it also empowers the nation. If we begin to plan from now, what we want our population to be in 5, 10, 20 years from now would be, it gives us enough opportunity to plan for the nation. Because it starts from the home. If a man and a wife can adequately plan for the number of children they can take care of, take into consideration the resources that they have, they are better able to plan their family. It would help them to live themselves as a family out of poverty. Now, if you take that to the larger society, if the country can have the number of population that they can take care of, it will help the government to plan, taking into consideration what their resources are as a state, what their resources are as a country to be able to plan for the population. You know how many children will come into school at a particular time. You know how many people will come into your workforce at a particular time. You know what number of employment to work with or to project going forward. But by the time you have a rapidly growing population that do not match your resources, then it becomes a problem.
Okay, let's look at this year's World Population Day, actually, which will be held tomorrow, really, July 11th. It is coinciding with the UN's Family Planning Summit.
Yes.
That's the second summit of the Family Planning 2020 initiative, which aims at expanding access to family planning uptake. Do you think this is realizable in 2020?
Yes, in 2012, we had the London Summit where at that summit, it was said that about 225 million women want access to family planning, but however, they do not have access to it. So the plan then was, we set a target for ourselves and said, let's be able to hit a 120 million mark by 2020. So far, we've been able to achieve about 24 million. About 10 million short of where we should be as of now. It is an ambitious target, but we need to get there. And then a lot of countries, have come on board. 69 countries have come on board to say we want to get to where we are. A lot of resources is being put into achieving this, and hopefully by the grace of God, we should get there.
All right, in Nigeria now, we understand the current contraceptive prevalence rate is at 10%. And we hope to increase that to national target of 36%, at least by 2018. Now, what do you think the government should be doing? Do you think there's enough funding really to primary healthcare services in the country that would, boost family planning uptake?
Okay, so our contraceptive, there's a percentage of women who are using family planning. Modern family planning is about 10%. But overall, it's about 15%, and we're trying to move the 15% to 36%. Currently, there's a lot of there is funding into increasing uptake, and a lot of partners have come on board to partner with the Federal Ministry of Health and the State Ministry of Health as well to be able to increase access to family planning. UNFPA and a lot, some other donors and the federal government have put resources aside to provide commodities for free. So if you walk into any family planning clinic in Lagos State or in the country as it were, all the commodities have been provided for free. That would think would boost increase in uptake as well.
Okay, we're going now, but again, as Nigeria joins the war to mark the World Population Day, how best do you think the Nigerian government can key into this to ensure that our population is actually our strength at the end of the day?
Aside of promoting and propagating for the use of family planning, we understand that family planning cannot do it all. We also have to strengthen our economy as well. So every other thing has to be put in place to ensure that we harness the potential that our population is providing through us.
All right, Doctor. Thank you so much for making time to share your thoughts with us on this. I've been speaking with Dr. Omasanjowa Edo, a doctor and also the team leader, Lagos Nigeria Reproductive Health Initiative, Phase 2, I guess.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for making time to share your thoughts with us. Talking about family planning, which also the World Population Day this year is centering on as key to economic development and, of course, national development. It's not over yet on Kakaaki, the African Voice. It's time to bring you On Your Own with Muyiwa Afolabi. Thank you for always being there. My name is Nkoli Omodu. Let's do it again tomorrow.